What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ryan, and this is the Thunder Channel on Nootropics. Going to talk about a particular dosing strategy that essentially has a background dose of something that you're trying to target, whether anxiety or performance or something, and then you've got essentially a one-off dose in addition to that later on in the day. In the meantime, everything that we put out on this channel is brought to you by a couple products right now. Everything still on sale, 20% off using the coupon code 20 at livecortex.com. That is the Cortex stack. Look, let me just stop you here. Okay, let's just take a break. If you want motivation, mental energy, verbal fluency, brain fluidity, you have to get a bottle of the Cortex stack. It is the simplest induction of those states in 2 capsules. Right now, it's 20% off using the coupon code 20. Do that at livecortex.com. If you need to take your nootropics game to the masterclass, that is the 6-year level. I mean, there's so many different things that people do differently when they're at that level in nootropics usage. At the 6-year mark, we lay it all out in a video course called the Nootropics Masterclass. That is also 20% off using the coupon code 20. I mean, you could save a lot of money on that course right now. If you are brand new to nootropics, you don't want to go that route, and you want to start with Nootropics Ground Zero. That is another video course that takes you from brand new, like what the hell is all this stuff, to the pro level, and that is defined as the 3-year mark. Video course of me teaching you everything Nootropics Ground Zero is also 20% off. Last thing, if you're a business person and need help with nootropics, the most popular and most useful and fastest way to achieve a good set of formulations where we ship them to you initially throughout the consult and then we guide you on how to get them thereafter to really amp up brain function on whatever it is you have to do task-wise. Get the 1-month intensive nootropics consult. We get a lot done during that time. We ship you stacks. We document everything. It is so cool, and it's my favorite thing to do. So work with me for a month straight to get you great stacks, 1-month intensive consult if you are a business person at livecortex.com. All right, so let me explain this. For some people, for specific reasons, they might be kind of phase low dosing, a singular nootropic compound or a pretty simple 2-compound stack to target one neurotransmitter or another, or maybe a couple neurotransmitters functions so that they can have a degree of anxiety relief or a degree of memory enhancement or a degree of energy enhancement, right? And that might be something that they dose in, let's just take nephiracetam for as an example, which modulates GABA receptors. So someone might be taking nephiracetam in small doses a couple times throughout the day to modify GABA receptor currents in the way that fosters some degree of GABA functioning. And then later on in the day, so that's kind of this background stack that they're taking to essentially be an anxiolytic. One might be doing that with aniracetam as well, might be microdosing 300 milligrams of aniracetam 3 times a day or something, just to sort of get the anxiolytic effect, because that does that for a lot of folks. Or one also might be dosing oxiracetam, a cyclic GABA derivative, not really shown to bind to GABA receptors, but anecdotally in people seems to lower their anxiety throughout the day and give them a good cognitive boost. But then at 1 p.m. or so, later on in the day, they might want to take a stack that does other things, okay? That might not specifically be working on releasing extra acetylcholine or modifying GABA receptor currents like nephiracetam would do, but that does something different that will synergize with that background initial phased microdose stack throughout the day. That will be facilitating performance. So in the case of, let's just say, taking oxiracetam in 300 milligram quantities 3 times a day, once right in the morning, once somewhere around 1 p.m., and then once again at 5 p.m., it seems to be a good strategy for a variety of people to kind of keep a background functionality going. It also does help with people that have anxiety, depending on the cause. At 1 p.m., if there is a surge of work to do for folks, then taking a stack of like 150 milligrams of UMP, that's uridine monophosphate, 15 milligrams of Noopept, 100 or so milligrams of CDP choline, And then a B complex is a good idea, right? You're targeting different things. You're targeting epinephrine, norepinephrine release, dopamine release, a little bit of dopamine receptor modification. You've basically got the ingredients for upregulating neurogenesis in that stack, and you've got a little bit of brain-derived neurotrophic factor and or nerve growth factor expression from the Noopept, and then continued cholinergic optimization via the CDP choline, the Noopept itself, somewhat with the UMP, and then a B complex kind of regulating neurotransmitters and giving you energy. Okay, that is not a bad idea, and there are a lot of people that take those sort of background supportive stacks. They're taking them throughout the day to reach one particular state as a baseline, right? They're almost trying to manufacture a particular baseline. In the case of oxiracetam, a little better memory. In the case of aniracetam, an anxiolytic effect. And then they've got a heavy hitter stack that's doing different things, that's fostering additional performance later on in the day, okay? So, I guess what you could get from that is, first of all, we do this in suggesting formulations for people in our larger consults. We've got a client that's essentially doing something like this on one of the 1-month intensives that we're doing. But for you, where the applicability comes in, it's like, you have to figure out what nootropics in phased small doses throughout the day are going to substantially optimize your baseline that you feel like you need for the time being. And then at what point do you have a surge of work that needs to be done that you can take a pretty well-rounded, specifically targeted stack that works on different systems than your baseline agent, your phase microdosing baseline agent, that will enhance brain function in a variety of different ways that gives you sort of this whole synergistic picture of a, let's call it like a 12-hour period of pretty good brain function, okay? And that's something that you figure out. Like over time, it's not just about taking a stack in the morning and then going to town. It's not just about taking a stack in the morning and then a different stack later. There's all kinds of different strategies that people use depending on what's happening in their brain, what performance they need at baseline, and then what surges of performance they may need later on, okay? So I hope that makes sense. Food for thought. Thanks so much for listening. Guys, remember, everything at livecortex.com is on sale. Listen, you got to listen to this. If you are a person that needs mental energy, motivation, brain fluidity, verbal fluency especially, folks that give talks and do webinars and do sales calls, listen, you got to get a bottle of Cortex. It is the stack for that. We made it for that. It was a stack that I was taking, doing all those tasks, running a technology company years ago, and then I formulated it into a pre-made stack. Cortex right now, 20% off using the coupon code 20 at livecortex.com. Listen, if you're into nootropics a couple years and you need to take your experience and usage and stacking and distinctions to the masterclass that is defined at the 6-year mark, you've got to go get the Nootropics Masterclass. You can find it at the homepage at livecortex.com. It takes you to the 6-year mark. It is a 1-hour video course packed with information, dense stuff about nootropics, many, many distinctions, 20% off livecortex.com. If you're brand new to nootropics, don't do any of that except for maybe buy Cortex. You got to get Nootropics Ground Zero. It is a video course that I created targeting people who are brand new to nootropics. Take it from brand new, which is ground zero, to the 3-year mark. That is the pro level of using nootropics. I will save you a lot of time in that video course, save you a lot of powder, save you a lot of money, and get you good results. Also, 20% off at livecortex.com. Last thing, if you're a business person and you need good brain function now for specific tasks that you have to get done, especially during the COVID-19 shutdowns, go get the 1-month intensive. It is our most popular nootropics consult for business people, whether executives or otherwise, where we ship you stacks throughout the duration of that 1 month and work very closely with you, documenting every experiment to refine a bunch of good stacks for what you need brain performance for. Go get the 1-month intensive at livecortex.com. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Talk to you next time.